with your Facebook group, you obviously use that to generate leads. Is there any other way? This is now a marketing geek question. I have to ask the marketing geek questions. What other ways do you use to generate leads?
So really the main thing has been the Facebook group, and then we've got our book as well.
Yes.
So the book is a perfect segue for people who, like our content, then join our email list using our lead magnet.
Yeah.
And then from that, they enter our ecosystem. And everyone who we've interviewed in the last, all the 120 people, they've come from our either readers of our books, or they've come from the Facebook group, and they've then joined our email list. So that's essentially it, really. That's have I got that right, Ty?
Yeah. So I mean, all the interviews that we've done, they're solely from email lists. So it's really good because we haven't had to do any manual outreach. You like you explained, it's like it's a bit of I guess a triangle that all feed into each other. So the books, the emails, and the Facebook group. And of course, we have people join our email list from our Facebook group. I don't know what you'd say, Anthony. I think the Facebook group really is our biggest avenue for generating leads.
100%.
It's a bit hard. It's a little bit harder to quantify how many people come from the books, and because the Facebook group is referenced in the books as well, a lot of people just join the Facebook group first. But yeah, as you can probably imagine, having a book is great as a funnel as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to say we have got a number because we've got we actually use obviously Unleash Your Marketing there. On there, the platform. So we know roughly the number. Some of it's a bit scattered, but yeah, it's been quite good.
I'm also revamping all the videos in the membership, guys. So that's my goal the next couple of weeks. So you will see a whole brand new system coming out there as well.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
So we talked about obviously some marketing stuff and all the things in the front end, but now I want to go really behind the scenes to understand what gives you guys, what makes you successful. Now I know you're very much on your path to become really successful. I see that in your near future. So what does your habits look every day? Like, what do you guys do on a daily basis that you think maybe put you aside from your friends that's not, that they don't have their own businesses or they're not on that path to success?
You can go first, like.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll start with that. I guess the routine. So my current routine is I try and get all the so obviously business is like the thing that takes up most of my time. The other things that I'm trying to work on in my life consistently every day, my aim is to get them all out of the way in the morning before 9 o'clock. So then I have the whole day of just I'd completely focus work on the business. And often it goes later. I mean, the last couple of weeks it's been like pretty much non-stop into the evenings because obviously we've been doing interviews in American time. So in terms of like habituals, like, I wake up at 6, get to the gym for 6:30, do my workout. A cold shower really helps. Very stereotypical entrepreneur thing, but I love them. Do that, kind of listen to an audiobook while I'm having breakfast. I was reading before. Sometimes I read before bed as well. And then after that I have just half an hour of just playing guitar, which is because I'm still trying to practice that and get better at that. So then by the time it hits 9, I've done, I've got my workout in, I've played a bit of music. So even if I don't manage to do it later in the day because I'm too busy with work, that's fine. And it's not something that's in my head. For me, definitely of recent times, that's been a massive thing for like me having successful and productive days at work. What about you, Anthony? Well, I probably think of some more, but
yeah, mine's relatively similar to those things, to be fair. In terms of habits, I don't know if it's like I think habits are good. I think it's more like a lifestyle, like it's being fully committed to the lifestyle of being an entrepreneur and being a business owner, because it's very demanding. And I don't think habits quite cut it. You can have habits that help you to begin with, but eventually becomes like lifestyle. So I think being a bit like just honestly like obsessed, being completely obsessed with it and consuming content around it and getting your mind to think like that, and obviously getting into the habit of reading, and that goes in line with the consumption side of things, and getting in the habit of literally the habit of constantly challenging yourself. Like we set like to what our friends or like people, to normal people, ridiculous goals, like to us is ridiculous goals, but constantly elevating our standards. And I think another habit is like building up the network, and those are really the main habits. In terms of other stuff, meditating, I meditate like through the weekdays, at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and that's about it really. I think those are the main habits that have really helped.
I think when that was a good one that I forgot, like the fact that we're pretty much always consuming content that's going to help us get to where we want to be. I mean, at lunch, I'm pretty much always just watching through part of this video course that we got at the moment. We've basically been always watching some kind of course for, I don't know, the last, God knows how long. And obviously reading massively helps as well.
Yeah.
Content
is incredibly important for entrepreneurs to grow.
Important.
It's so like, if you don't do that, I've never met, and I've had the privilege to speak to quite a lot of millionaires, and I've never heard one millionaire say nothing about like they don't read or any of that stuff. They all literally consume at least an hour or two of content a day. Like, it's just a thing, right?
Yeah,
100%.
What do you guys think is the thing that makes you successful, or at least definitely get you on that path there? That's for sure.
Fucking very good question. Pardon my language, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
I'll beep you out.
That's a very good question.
I think one thing, there's probably plenty of things. This certainly isn't the best answer, but one thing is that we've always made sure to make an effort to be around people that we're impressed by, and I guess that kind of lift us up. Whether that's like a network of publishers, whether that's always basically keeping in contact with a lot of podcasters and always building up that network, including a lot of like amazing and successful people like yourself, of course. But yeah, definitely, especially from a publishing point of view, being always having it like a tight inner circle of people that are basically doing better than us, if you define it in financial terms. Because it just sets the expectation, and then we feel like we're lagging behind, so it just gives us an extra boost to just I don't know, just ruthlessly do stuff. I don't know, that's one thing. There's so many more. What do you think, Anthony?
Honestly, I feel that's the main thing, to be fair. And I think another thing that I would say, which I don't normally say because I don't really like it, but I think luck has a lot to do with it. Obviously you create your own luck, but during our journey, we're so, like, when I think about it, we're lucky that we had each other during university. We're lucky we had each other to bounce back and forth. We're lucky that we got into entrepreneurial around that time. We had so much free time at university. We're lucky that we started this thing called match betting, which was just the rarest thing that basically meant we could fund our business. Like, it's
not
like
gambling.
There's been
side note.
It's not gambling. It's not. It's not gambling. Don't worry. And I'm lucky that when I found the opportunity to start the business, I was able to ring my mate Taig, and the next day we invested like over $1,000 on just a course, literally the next day. So I think, honestly, I know that this is going to sound a bit like, but luck, and then what Taig said, massively, that the network has been huge. Like, it's insane, because most people don't think they can do things because they don't know anyone who's done that or doing that.
That's a good point. True.
It's foreign to them. So like, people who live in a small town where we come from, they don't know someone who's making, like, let's say 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 50 grand a month, 100 grand a day. Like, whereas thankfully, we're in a position where we've met people who've made, who not finance, but like 100 grand a day consistently so being around those sort of people and then seeing how they think, it exposes us, and it's like, that's not far away. Like, I can message them right now, and they're literally an arm's length away. So for us, it feels like, well, if they can do that, why couldn't we? And it's not like this guy who's famous, or it's like, no, this person that we know and we've had a night with, and we know him closely. So no, plays a huge role in that.
Yeah, and I think on that note, like, it's the most obvious thing of all. Like, there's two of us, and that's a massive advantage that we have. It means it's when one of us has an off day, it's very unlikely that both people have an off day. You've always got the other one pulling each other up. On a almost daily basis, one of us will just have an idea that's just not that great, and the other one will shut it down. So we're constantly like just I guess like double checking against ourselves, which
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it obviously just makes our end product and our output a lot better because it's always been double checked and refined and stuff like that. Yeah, that definitely helps a lot.
I laugh. You guys are so funny. So something I do want to just expand on a little bit. Surrounding yourself with successful people is critical because obviously, you know, it's that whole thing, you become the five you spend your time with. Now, I live in a small town, and as far as I know, there's not people that make that much money or even close to it. And the only people that I know that I've interviewed is people in other countries. Right? I don't actually, and I have one millionaire here in New Zealand, but that's it. So how did you go out and find these people? Did you just reach out on online communities? Did you do it within your spaces outside when you went to the city? How would you go and find people to talk to?
I think so. For me personally, when we first got into publishing, I think I saw a few people that I knew were doing well, and in my head I was like, you know, when you have a thought like, oh, that'd be so cool to know that person or meet that person. And I think honestly, just connecting with people, not about their success or about like their money or about, oh, how do you do this, and constantly bombarding them with questions of like, because people that, you know, most people are nice, they don't really mind, but if you want to build trust with that person on a surface much deeper, you have to get to know them. You know, like, oh, how's your day been? You know, we had a coach, shout out Alex, like an amazing guy, and we had coaching sessions with him. But what me and Taig always try to do, because we know he's on a call all day, we try to ask him, Alex, how's your day been, mate? Alex, how's your dog? How, because you mentioned like a dog, and those little things sticks in people's mind because you're trying to actually see how they're, you know, genuinely care for them. And because of that, then that, you know, that builds, and that person will then do more for you than you would have thought before. And that, you know, that's not like planned out, is just being a good person. I think that's
human nature.
Best way. In terms of, you know, the tactics,
sorry,
is just like, in terms of the tactics, it would just be, just send them a message that's like a bit personalized. I'm like, hey, how are you doing? What, like, you know, what's going on? I saw your success, but dude, how's your day been going? Simple. Start simple, and then it builds, because then you have access to their network. And if you're good to them, they connect. That's literally what happened with us, isn't it, Tyler? Like, we didn't know these people, and then we met one person, and that one person knew two people, and then those two people knew those two people, and then
your network is your net worth. That's for sure.
Well, exactly. It's a famous quote, and it's very true, isn't it? And even like, you know, even though most of these, well, if not all of these connections are online and over message, like people can still sense if you're not being, you know, genuine, and if you are after something, or if you're not that into the conversation. So as Anthony was saying, I guess just like just being genuine and just meaningful, and actually wanting to, you know, actually being invested in every conversation over Facebook or whatever you have. It goes like a hell of a long way.
That's really cool, me. I must admit, one thing that has helped my business a lot was just building relationships. It is so incredibly important. And I did ask you guys that question because I find, like, in my circles with the people I help, because I help mostly startup businesses or businesses that's new. And a lot of people struggle with that initial outreach to people. You know, how do you reach out to people? And I guess just doing it. And you guys gave a good example of, you know, just get that ball rolling. Hashtag goals. There's a reason for that. I used to coach businesses one-on-one. So it became a joke, which became a thing. So the story behind it really is like, every day I'm like, have you worked on your goals today? No. What have you achieved this week? And then eventually I was tired of asking it, and I was just like, well, there you go. What's your goals? How do you guys set goals?
Funny.
How do we set goals? Did you say how did we set goals, or what are our goals? Sorry.
Yeah. How do you set your daily goals? So if from not knowing what you're going to do to writing it down to actually achieving it, what's your path there? What's your blueprint?
Yeah, I mean, so we like to stay ahead of time in terms of monthly and like quarterly. I say quarterly; it's only something we've done this year. Before it's always just been monthly, but you know, we'll just take the time in the morning on like a Monday of the first week of the month or whatever on Zoom, just to, you know, go get an Excel sheet or a Google sheet and just just kind of just brainstorm and just let loads of ideas flow, and eventually just organize it into, you know, priorities and kind of long term and short term and stuff like that. And then from there, we just kind of, you know, just slowly zoom in until it's like a daily thing. I mean, on a daily basis, we normally just discuss it in the morning, like, okay, what's the plans for today? And then if we split up, we split up. If not, we're often just working on stuff together. Big fan of the old plan tomorrow today thing. You know, I find that helps a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I do personally, like, you know, with the journal and stuff. But yeah, something we've done this year is we've just been focusing in quarters, which has been excellent, like way better than last year. Like it's like a, how do you say it, like the 30,000 foot view kind of thing. Like it's been setting quarterly goals has been, I would totally recommend it to anyone that hasn't done that.
Yeah.
I'm sure Anthony would say the same. It's just given us complete clarity and actually way better of a deadline than just stuff like, okay, by the end of this week. Because when I find that a lot of the time, if you just focus on like by the end of this week, it doesn't really work out that well, because stuff always comes up. Like obviously, you know, like running a business, like there's always so many unaccounted tasks and just little blips and stuff like that come up. But focusing on it from like a 3-month point of view is like, I just think kind of flawless for that purpose.
Yeah, no, I can attest to that. I think it's been honestly is the I think the confident boost has gave both of us, and with things going insanely well and just us picking up momentum, the quarterly goals really does makes it feel real. You know, the goals that you set for yourself, because the year is too far ahead, but then when you break it down to the quarters, it gives you a clear, okay, yeah, that's doable, very doable. And then it's like, then when you start taking the action towards it and you're in alignment to meet your first quarterly goal, you're like, oh crap, yeah, that, you know, we sent each other a screenshot of like, because we did it like on a canvas sheet and had the quarterly goals, and we're well on track to doing our you know, our Q1 goal, which is really, really nice. And that just gave both of us a massive confidence. It's like, yeah, dude, like we can fucking do this. So I'd recommend it to anyone out there who's thinking, I have a plan in a year. Do quarterly goals and then monthly goals, and like Taig said, then weekly, then daily. It helps massively.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's the time goes so quick. Like if you set a quarterly goal, before you know, the quarter's gone. It's amazing how fast the time goes to actually achieve that. And it is, 100%. I've got boards. I've got 2 here. You guys can't see this one here, but yeah, exactly. That's the best way, I think, to set goals. Guys, one last question. If you have any advice for somebody sitting on the fence that want to start a business, but they just not ready to do it, what advice would you have for them? I love it. I can see the gears turning.
So I've got I can't do one, but I can do 3 that I think that I'll be concise with them. So number 1, build out your network and start surrounding yourself with people who are doing much better than you. You need to. Number 2, commit to whatever it is you're doing fully and believe that it can happen for you. Like really commit. And I mean, really commit, and know that you have sacrifices will have to be made. Number 3, which is to me, I think is the most important, invest in your business.
I knew you were going to say that.
Invest in your business happily, with full confidence that money is going to come back to you tenfold in the future. Not in 6 months, but give yourself a year and a half knowing I'm going to invest in this business consistently, believing it's going to happen. And for us, that was, you know, we spent tens of thousands in the business, which is crazy when we think about it now, happily, without any doubt, because we just knew it was going to come back to us, and it did. So I mean, that's it.
Yeah, and on, you know, like on the opposite level, we see a lot of people in the communities we're in and stuff. We see a lot of people fail, and it's because they've been scared to keep investing, and because like the skepticism and the you know, like, will this work, gets them, and then that stops them taking 100% action. But for us, it's always been like, at times like a bit naive, to be honest, because we know, as I said, like we just weren't thinking long term. Like even when we didn't know that much or anything, we were just like ruthlessly pummeling like pretty much all of our money into it. Of course, we're lucky because we didn't have like rent and like a family to feed. And sorry, we did have rent, but we didn't have like adult bills to pay, I guess, and, like, family to feed. We didn't have responsibilities, yeah. So yeah, there's that, and obviously, like Anthony was saying about the surrounding yourself with people, and I guess like to someone that hasn't started yet, they're probably thinking, well, how the hell do I just go and like make friends with people? But I think the first step is just joining a community, even if it's just a Facebook group, a free Facebook group, not related to any course or anything. Because then if you start seeing all these people talking about this stuff every day and you can't get away from it, then I think if you do have it in you, then it's really only a matter of time. Just kind of living in that space and just seeing people do good things and talk about it all the time, and of course that's then the best place to start reaching out to people, because there'll always be people in the same boat as you in that regard.
I love that. Guys, this has been good. Thank you so much. Where can people get your books? Where can I go? What link should they use?
Yeah, so Amazon. So we'll obviously drop the Amazon link that takes you to the Daniel Larson page. We can find Podcaster Made Simple, Podcast Marketing, actually a bundle of the two. Why 75% of podcasters fail and how you can avoid it, and He Who Shall Not Be Named, every podcaster's biggest hurdles, which I throw at the end and I wish I didn't even have to say, but it's also there. Yeah, so yeah, Amazon.
I love the books, guys. So I strongly recommend get onto them. They're really, really fun. It's a good read, because sometimes, you read business books like this and you're like, oh gosh, this is going to be boring. But you guys just made it fun, so it's just fun to listen and read, because I do both. So that's really, really cool. Yeah. Is there anything I might have missed that you guys would like to add to the audience?
No, I think all the most.
Not that really I can think of. Okay. I mean, if you're a podcaster looking to get into our podcasting, join our Facebook community, Podcast Marketing Made Simple. That would be the only call. But I mean, yeah, apart from that, just obviously thanks a lot for having us, Joy. We appreciate it. It's been a really good chat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. And I'm in New Zealand, you guys in the UK, so it's always tricky to find a time that works. But this has been fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Joy.